actually to ask you a little bit and to give us a little bit of an idea of what you do in your daily life. Could you maybe give us a little insight of what you do?
I would say the first thing, one of the most important parts of my job is to lead a team. Being a general manager, you're at the top of the pyramid of a lot of colleagues and employees, and your responsibility is to be a leader and to lead the team. So I have different layers of teams, but my job is to lead them. A good way, in my opinion, to lead a team is through communication, is being very transparent, is communicating, is sharing what you're doing, where you're going. If you don't communicate, you can have a vision, you will fail. You need to communicate and share. You need to be visible. And that's what I try to do, is to be very visible and approachable throughout the hotel. A part of my job is also to balance different stakeholders. So, we have the employees of the hotel, we have guests, we have owners, we have a company, a management company. And my job is to be a little bit in the middle of all those stakeholders and to manage this. And this is not easy because everybody has sometimes different goals and expectations. And my job is to try to balance and to be in the middle in order to make the best for everybody. A regular day of a general manager, it starts very early. I read the reports when I wake up in the morning, the night report, the revenue report, to understand what happened the day before and through the night, what happened. The hotel doesn't close at night. When I arrive in the hotel, I do a walkthrough. It's usually between 15 and 20 minutes. I try to go as many places as I can in the hotel. I attend briefings, executive briefings, operations briefings to pass on information and to understand what's happening. I personally like to attend briefings throughout the hotel, not just the executive briefing, but departmental briefings. You get a lot of information from going to those briefings. You get to be visible also, which means, you're not just the guy who's in an office, but you're somewhere that people can actually speak to you and tell you what's going on. Sometimes they're a bit afraid, or they might not have the guts sometimes to tell you, but as you build this relationship and communication, people will get more and more comfortable to tell you how they really feel and what you can do for them. Being transparent and approachable, for me, it's very important. I don't want to be known as the GM who's in his office and nobody can ever enter this space. However, for me, I like to think about, everybody is a human, everybody can understand if you explain things properly, and that I like to also consider that we can give the same kind of information to everyone, and they're going to understand it if it makes sense. And if you do the right decision with your heart, usually you'll be able to explain them much easier to whoever it may be. And again, this goes back to what I said about communication, being able to communicate and have the same goals and the same information throughout the hotel. This is one way to have a successful property and operation. I try to meet clients, and this depends really when they want to meet me or when I can meet them. So this is really at different times of the day. I entertain clients. I have lunches or dinners or coffees or drinks with clients. Sometimes this is the fun part of the job. I meet employees. Sometimes they want to talk to me about good things, difficult things. Sometimes I get to go on sales trips, a bit less nowadays, but a part of the general manager's job is also to develop the property and from a commercial point of view, to develop and sell the property. And this sometimes happens through sales trips or sales calls. So I do that also quite often. So this is a bit of a mix of the day-to-day job and what is my daily or weekly life.
Working at the Hôtel de Crillon, which is, it's really famous and really prestige. So I'm sure you have a lot of high-profile people, really famous people who need their privacy to a certain extent. How do you manage to ensure this privacy for these people?
Well, for these people, for all the guests in such a property, but let's say for those in particular, privacy is essential. That's why they choose us. If they really want privacy, they have different access and ways to enter the hotel that we can provide them with more privacy. Apart from entering from the main door on Place de la Concorde, there are different entrances that those guests can enter. We use different alias or names. We remind the colleagues and the staff that privacy is why those guests choose us, and that it's essential and it should be treasured. through discretion, keeping distance from those guests. Sometimes they don't want the staff to be taking pictures. We want to protect them from guests potentially approaching them if they require that. And we're trained on this, and we remind the team every time. And then you'll see that sometimes those high-profile guests, they like to be approached, and they'll tell us. I had a guest the other day tell us, if the staff wants to take a picture with this celebrity, it's totally fine. And I said, no, this guest is here for privacy. We will not bother them. But sometimes they'll just tell you that it's okay. And it's really important to keep, high standards for those guests. We want to deliver the best experiences and, high levels of standards. Again, I said about relentlessly, never stopping, always pushing yourself to do better, checking and not compromising on any standards is the way you can maintain luxury, whether it's for privacy or for quality of service.
So you train your staff regularly to deal with special guests, but I guess also with guests who come to the hotel who don't have a special status in that sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and many of the colleagues here, they've been working in luxury hotels. They understand those codes. That's why they're working here. It's mostly of a reminder and a lot of common sense also. It's just a matter of repeating and reminding guests, sometimes, or the employees, about those kind of guests.
Yeah, I see.
I would say one difference in smaller properties, like in Shanghai at the Bulgari or in Hôtel de Crillon here with 124 rooms, there's more attention to details and personalized experiences. So in smaller structures, maybe you'll have a bit more particular eye on experiences, on an opportunity to curate experiences, to customize, to personalize the stay of the guest, to meet the guest a bit more than in a bigger hotel.